our first video on linear regression. It's going to be important that you have a background on correlation, so if you've not yet watched those videos, go back, watch those first before you proceed with this video. So for linear regressions, we talked about in correlation, we're oftentimes interested in the cause and effect relationship between two different variables, and these will be the dependent and independent variables. So for linear regression, we're interested in analyzing the response of our dependent variable or our response variable based on changes in the independent variable or our predictor variable. And regression is similar to correlation in that we're looking at relationships between two different measurement variables, data pairs of continuous numerical variables. But we've got this fundamental difference in that regression is interested in that cause and effect relationship, that dependence of the response variable on the predictor variable. So at the base of linear regression, the goal was to fit a straight line to our data in order to assess that relationship. And in this particular course, we're just going to focus on simple linear regression, meaning that we have a single predictor variable and it's going to be a straight line relationship between the respective variables. Regression can get more complex, but in this course we're just going to focus on the simple linear regression. Now, a couple important vocabulary terms and some terms that can be interchanged with each other. So our independent variable could also be called the explanatory variable or the predictor variable, and the dependent variable can be also called the outcome variable or the response variable. So when you're reading or if we're going through videos or examples in the lecture, just realize that these names can be interchanged for their respective variable. So in thinking about linear regression, we're thinking about the same type of data as correlation again, so this continuous numerical data, and we visualize this through plotting it on some type of a scatter plot, so we can look at this relationship. And for linear regression, again, our goal is to fit a straight line to this so we can describe that relationship. And if you observe a scatter plot with a straight line on it, then you can realize that this relationship is significant. So if there's a scatter plot without a straight line on it, then there's not a significant relationship due to regression, but these lines indicate that there is. So for linear regression, we're going to discuss briefly statistical models because a linear regression equation is a relatively simple statistical model, and there's different types of models. The first of which are deterministic models, and these do not take into account the randomness of nature or the organisms that we're studying. And these are indicative of the dependent variable having a very specific relationship to the independent variable, but in the real world this is relatively uncommon. Oftentimes we focus on probabilistic models because they incorporate this idea of randomness. And so to illustrate this, let's take a look at this example. So we've got our respective data here, and we can look at either the relationship between the length and the weight of the organism or the length and the weight of its prey. And what you notice here is that very few of those data points actually lie on the straight line. Some are greater, some are less than this, and that's because there's some variability, and these probabilistic models take into account that variability and this randomness either above or below those regression lines. So linear regression uses this additive probabilistic model in which to describe the relationship between the two variables that we're interested in, and that random component is going to take into account the variability that's not deterministically related, meaning that the data points don't fit on that straight line. So for these models, we've got two different components. So we have the deterministic component, but we also have this random term that we're going to start using, and that random term is going to help us assess how good our respective model fits the data. So we can look at our model in this particular manner in which we would have y, which is our respective dependent variable, and it equals some deterministic function of our independent variable plus that random factor, that random deviation. So we can think about this as y equals fx plus epsilon. So for example, maybe we're interested in the body weight of fishes and the relationship of this with length. And so maybe we notice that there's a deterministic component in which the weight equals half of the length, but then there's also this random error that we need to take into account. Could be if an animal recently ate, or if it's an older animal and maybe it's slowly deteriorating and getting close to the end of its life. Lots of different factors that could be taken into account. So our linear regression model looks something like this, in which we have y equals alpha plus beta x plus epsilon. And so we've got the deterministic function of our model here as the alpha plus beta x, and then we've got a random term here with epsilon. And so the goal here with this model is that we're going to set up this equation so that way we can understand the relationship that we have between our two variables. And then also, as we're going to talk about moving forward in these videos, is that we can actually make predictions about data ranges that are outside of our respective values that we've collected. So we're going to use this relationship to set up the relationship between this equation to set up this relationship between y and x. And it's important that we keep y and x in light of the dependent and independent variables, excuse me. And so y is going to be what we're interested in. That's what's going to be responding to x, our independent variable. On this equation, alpha is going to represent the intercept of our linear regression model. And then beta is going to equal the slope. And then epsilon again is our error term, and we're going to refer to this as the residual. So if we're thinking about maybe some of the examples that we learned in mathematics courses, it may be more similar to y equals mx plus b. So this is a more common version of the formula in some of the mathematics courses that you may have taken for your prereqs for this course. Now, for our particular model, alpha is the same as b in this case. And so this is our y-intercept. This is the value of y when x equals 0. Beta, in this case, takes the form of our slope, m. And so again, this is going to be rise over run, the change in y over the change in x. And then our error term, again, is taking into account that unexplained variation that leads to our data points either being below or above our respective best fit line. And an important assumption for linear regression is that we have a standard normal distribution for our data set. And in lab, you're going to learn some different methods of how to test for this assumption and to determine if this is the appropriate statistical model in which to use. So let's take a look at how this model works. So let's say that we have our data of length and prey weights, and we can plot a best fit line here, and the equation of that best fit line is going to be y equals alpha, again our y-intercept, plus beta x. Now, we know that our data points don't fit this perfectly. In fact, there's only a few that are on that line. Most of them are below or above this respective line. And the values above and below these lines take into account the variability in our data sets, and epsilon, this error term or our residual, is going to take into account. And there is an error for each one of our respective data points. So we can go through and we can actually identify what those errors are for our respective data for each one of our respective data pairs. So in here we can look at this particular data point. We can calculate the value of y, so our prey weight, based on the y-intercept of our respective regression model, based on the slope of the line times the value of x for this respective data point, plus epsilon. And epsilon is the difference between the y value of the data point and the y value of the regression model. So here you'll notice that this is going to be positive. And for each one of our respective data points, we have these values called y hats. So you can see this in the parentheses in the description up here. Y hat represents the estimate of y based on our x values. So our y hat value is the value for the regression model. Y in and of itself is the value of the data point based on our collected information. So we can go through and we can calculate out both our y hat value and compare this to our actual y value to get an understanding of what that error rate is. And the goal here is to get an understanding of how well our best fit line actually fits our data. And so these residuals, or these errors, are the difference between our actual values and our predicted values. And we notice that these can be positive if our actual values are greater than the predicted values, or they can be negative. And what linear regression is going to allow us to do is it's going to minimize those residuals. It's going to minimize the amount of error that we have across the entire data set. And so depending on our particular data, it's going to influence the y-intercept, it's going to influence the slope in order to reduce the error that we're having between our data and that best fit line. So moving forward in the next few videos, we're going to work on achieving a few goals for linear regression. So the first of which is actually estimating this equation based on the x and y data. And so it's actually generating this regression function. The second goal is going to be to plot the data and then construct that line. This is going to be something that you'll do in lab. We won't do this in class, but we'll discuss this. Another goal is going to be to use that regression equation to predict values outside of our respective data set. And then finally, the last goal is going to be to estimate how much variation in y is explained by x. And this is going to be testing the significance of our respective linear regression model. So before you start moving into the next videos in this section, I'd strongly recommend checking out sections 14.1 and 14.2 in the book, and make sure that you feel comfortable with the concepts discussed in this video. The next lecture, we're going to focus on determining what that linear regression equation is.